When there is a problem in the country, it affects everyone. Not just all get a number, you may look in the budget book, and number nothing. Money true no sago. And this problem, it started in 2023, or maybe even further back in 2022. In 2023, most provinces and agencies were not paid what was budgeted in the 2023 budget. And for most of the provinces, we received the monies for 2023, the balance of the payments, in January 2024. So the monies that we received in January of last year were in fact funding for the previous year. Okay, for this year, Mr. Deputy Speaker, Acting Speaker, for this year, in the case of ECPIC and many provinces, the last time we received any of the budgeted funds was in May last year. And Treasurer is aware, and the Finance Minister is aware, not just my province, but many other provinces. We are still waiting for the funds, and this is the issue I have. When the government comes up with a poor money plan, and then they publish budgets. For example, in this year's budget, and the supporters of the government roundly criticized myself and the ECPIC province, saying the national government is giving you an extra 60 million this year. Supporters of the government. Well, I'm here to tell you that we have not received that extra 60 million, or in fact, the 34 million owed to us up until the end of last year, and the additional 20 million properly budgeted for the first how many months it come now? Yeah, it no come up yet. So if that's the case for ECPIC, and I know all the governors are complaining on governors' WhatsApp about the fact that they haven't received their funds, and as the Prime Minister rightly put it, Samplaul province is got internal revenue. In the case of ECPIC, we are operating only on internal revenue. And it's also misleading, Mr. Acting Speaker, when the government says, plenty money mipla giving me gudang lo yupla. For example, in the case of ECPIC budget, 120 million and payable teacher. The money never actually gets to us. It's paid here. And that's the same for all the provinces. The largest chunk of our budget is payroll. You know, actual cash also transferred in Kamlo province. The actual cash that's transferred to provinces is really, you count DSIP, PSIP is probably about 70 million in the case of ECPIC. If you count what we call functional grants and minimum priority grants, the same grants that the good minister for provincial and local level government was talking about in his report last week, these little grants, they amount to about 60 or 70 million. So the actual cash transfer going on big province like mine from the national government is really around 130 million. All get a number, you may look in the budget book and number nothing. Money true no sago. And that's the same for everybody here. All the leaders sitting in this house. So it is misleading. The Prime Minister and the Treasurer is misleading the country when they say, Mipla salim prabla money guram na yubla making one longem. The actual cash component that comes in the case of ECPIC, me count him all district blomi, 6 all district all MPC staff. Me count him PSIP, na me count him actual cash component, the functional grant, the minimum priority grants is around 130 million. Now, there's a lot of money here, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Time you like Salimon la public 70 go walking walk. I need to put in fuel lo car. Me plus I use him all minimum priority grants, na me plus I use him all functional grants. Lo buy him fuel, lo fix him car, or lo pay him allowance, lo walk man, or lo fix him all house, lo district. You know, the DSIP only builds new projects. There are very rare occasions when they go and maintain existing infrastructure. Na plan di open member sinalo here, boli clear lo desla. So plan di heavy blow maintaining all infrastructure, all plan infrastructure, all district. Emsa puna ni come lo province. Now, when you don't transfer those funds, then we have a problem. The same goes for the PHS. Mr. Deputy Speaker, plenty of housing will run out of medicine. Now, in the case of ECPIC, myself and my 6 open members, we had a meeting in November last year. Namipla allocating 3 million kina out of the PSIP to buy medicine for the ECPIC Provincial Health Authority. Nami sabe was employed provincially working one time. So I have an issue, Mr. Deputy Speaker, when, you know, with respect to the Treasurer and the Prime Minister, when you bring a...
Governor, sorry for interrupting you. Just address the chair as Assistant Speaker.
Oh, Assistant Speaker. Sorry, you plus any me to me confused. Assistant Speaker. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. So when they say to the people of Papua New Guinea in this honorable house that mipla wok lo give him money or mipla brukim budget na ipla talk budget mipla brukim olsem na behind lo kam lo time lo budget session ya you plan need mipla all kata lo kam na passing budget, and I think everybody does so dutifully. But then actual work mark lo behind him something where this la house and me pass him, come up. So what are we to do about that, Assistant Speaker? And then not only that, with great respect to my good friend and the Treasurer, by law, under the Public Finance Management Act, this document is supposed to be presented to the leaders in this House and the people of Papua New Guinea in March.
My goodness.
By law. There's another document that's going to come out. It's called the MAIFO, which is the Media Economic Fiscal Outcome. Now that is due in July, which is the next sitting. So there's a reason why the law was designed in such a way that this report comes out in March, because it talks about the spending the previous year. And it's supposed to inform our good leaders in this House and the public about the expenditure of the government. Now, because me are some senior leaders belong, you mean lo country, only got agent need lo kalap lo balus nego lo New Zealand tomorrow. Only like adjourn in Parliament tete. Because this la trip go to New Zealand, I mean important more law. Struggle blow people blow Papua New Guinea, na this la final budget outcome. I don't understand that. Parliament was suspended last week as well and adjourned. We're skipping Friday. Friday is day blow member.
Grievance debate.
Grievance debate. So something new. There's a new fashion being developed by this government, which is frightening, and I think we should be worried about it. And as was so rightly suggested, why can't the Deputy Prime Minister take control of the House on the government side so we can continue? Prime Minister, I mean, important lo round, I can run.
For point of order.
Thank you, Mr.
Prime Minister,
Assistant
what is your
Speaker.
point of
The
order?
Prime Minister is away on official duties on a critical matter, and yes, you are right, we can continue, but that is a prerogative of government, and wherever we decide to adjourn and government business, we'll be able to do so, and we'll allow it. We are now, Mr. Assistant Speaker, allowing debate to be happen, and we are listening to the debate, so the debate can continue. No one's stopping debate. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
Prime Minister, it's a very nice deflection protecting your Prime Minister. We understand and appreciate that. Commendable action there. I applaud you. Okay, let's get back to this. Now, the Treasurer reports that there was a 630 million decline in GST. This is important. In the same report where our Treasurer says that there's been economic growth, there is a significant decline in GST collections. Now, the Treasurer knows very well that part of your GDP measure is in public consumption, and public consumption is one of the 4 things that go into your GDP measure. The best measure of your consumption of goods and services is GST. Now, if we've had a 20% decline, according to your report, Mr. Treasurer, Acting Speaker, Treasurer says here that there's a 20% decline in consumption. That tells me that there is a slowdown in the economy. In any other country on this planet, when there is a decline in consumption, it points to a slowdown, and in some cases, in fact, a stagnation of the economy. It is measured by your GST, and the Treasurer says here it's declined by over 600 million last year. And then he goes on to give a whole range of excuses like lack of collections. I know that IRC has been doing a brilliant job. He also tries to blame it on the Black Wednesday issue, and I think that's a little bit cheap to go that low to blame a decline in the economy in an event that occurred in one part of the country. Whilst acknowledging that the NCD may be a significant part of the economy, this GST collection is not just for NCD, it's countrywide. So I would respectfully ask the government, and whilst I acknowledge that the Treasurer is a very hard-working man,
Very hardworking.
when you are balancing figures and trying to manufacture a good response to the people of Papua New Guinea, that can be quite difficult. So, and hence it's taken him 3 months longer to produce this report, because they had to try to find excuses to justify why the outcome on the budget is so terrible. And here's the thing. I want to say to the government, if you are going to, as you work on the next budget, can you be honest in the next budget? No can you go na gaman puti mo number na sabotas blibla by kira paitian na oga Papua New Guinea foul is start na. True outcome lo budget ya mi negative can, because if I look at your analysis of the last 3 budget outcomes, there are issues there, Mr. Treasurer, based on your own numbers. So there is a decline in what you've been predicting for the past 3 years consistently. So this area where we find ourselves in today is not an accident. We've been arriving. All of the actions that have been going on in government over the past 6 years has now beat us in the proverbials. Mr. Retta, Mr. Acting Speaker, also now like hurry up now. Only no like more leaders of Papua New Guinea by reading good this report, na you sign up na debate good. Because they don't want the leaders to take a look at this document. They don't want the public to have it debated in this house. So reasonably, Mr. Acting Speaker, and now Mr. Nap na toto kaya plenty of leader blumipla. They can't process this document as fast, and to be reasonable. This la debate ya you need lo differ mi lo nar lo time lo give him chance lo leader lo Papua New Guinea lo talk. Mr. Acting Speaker, it is unfair to expect our leaders to process this 86-page document that's full of numbers, because for the last how many years mipla lo harim talk lo Prime Minister na harim talk lo Treasurer. Mipla harim talk na now bagrabem come up. So it's time for the leaders, Yubla lo government do, you need to take, within government, you need to take the government to task. You need to ask the hard questions. No kan larim na mipla opposition yet bakam na walk. You know country blow mipla taso. Country blow mipla too. Time only cutting budget na mipla pilim pen lo sipik. Onar la province too pilim. When there is a problem in the country, it affects everyone, not just ISIPIC. So by rights, the government, the executive government, should allow its own backbenchers the opportunity to digest the material, first of all, and then to come back and perhaps even go and seek, advice from experts who can then give them right papers for them. Now, yet can come na toklo here for their own people and for their own districts and provinces. So that is my appeal in this debate to you, Acting Speaker, that if no one else can debate this, because it is a difficult piece of presentation, and I understand that, then I request humbly that you defer the debate to a subsequent sitting. Thank you.